you doing, folks? Keith here from the Young Dubs. We missed you all. We wish we were on the road doing gigs with you all. It's been the weirdest thing for us, literally, to stop dead in the water, but racking our brains as to how we can re-enter your lives, whether you like it or not. And I thought to myself, what a better way to get reacquainted with the Dubs than to have little one-on-ones with each band member on this new platform that we've discovered called StreamYard. And this will be the first one. The person I chose to interview first is the most tech savvy in the band. He's literally an old hand at streaming live and all the rest of that cool internet stuff. Whereas I was born during the era when there was only smoke signals. It wasn't even regular mail. We just lit a fire and sent messages to other parts of Ireland across the mountains, and that meant like, see you soon, what are you drinking, I'll get the pints in, or whatever. There were different smoke signals. Justin grew up in America and knows the internet, so he's my guinea pig for this first interview. So let's, without further ado, please welcome the one, the only, Justin Payco. Hey, Justin.
How's it going?
And how are you handling it over there in Tascadero, an entire 12 miles away from me?
Yeah, just cabin fever 24/7.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that.
Yep.
Are you a mask wearer when you hit the grocery stores, or are you going in a full plastic bubble?
Full bubble. Yeah, the hamster thing, you know.
I love it. You know, we once opened up for Flaming Lips before you joined the band, and Wayne goes out in a big bubble, and I've now actually tried to contact him to see if I can get the bubble.
Yeah.
Because anybody who's seen us play live realizes that even though the official word is that you can project droplets 6 feet, I think anybody who's seen me sing knows that I can get a good 12 to 15 feet with those puppies. So
reach.
Yeah, it'll be like the drummers that play behind screens. It'll be like, you'll all be on stage normal, and I'll be completely covered in a glass screen. It'll just be saliva dripping down the front of it. So people can go, oh, I dodged that. Thank God. See, that one would have got me. That one just came.
Well, sanitation, that's what we got to do these days.
Exactly. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this. First of all, I wanted to share this little picture with everybody. There's us a little bit before this all started. We took our little picture.
Yeah.
With you and Chaz, Dave, and Ethan, our new bass player, sitting there on the couch. Poor old Ethan, who rehearsed like crazy with us to get ready for this. And he got basically about 6 shows. He was just becoming an obnoxious rock star. He was like this close. And then it got whipped away. And now he's a mild-mannered character again.
Yeah, back in Hawaii.
Aloha, mahala, mahakalula, mahila hala. You know, he's back using all his words that we don't understand.
Yep, indeed.
All right, so let me ask you this. So you joined the band a couple of years ago, and I had heard of you on the grapevine up here in the area as a great guitar teacher, and you actually taught my kid for a while before basketball took over his life. But you when we were looking for a new guitar player, one of our mutual friends, John Kenny, told me that I should talk to you, and I knew you were gigging in bands locally and stuff, and that I didn't know whether you'd be available or not, so I reached out to you, and then you got back and told me you were interested, and then started sending me these amazing videos of you jamming to our songs. So first of all, let's go back to the beginning and say, what brought you? How did you end up in the Tascadero, California?
Well, I guess when I moved here, I was still, with the parents. So full family move. I must have been 14, something like that.
So like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm actually still 14.
That's right.
Eternally. And that's basically when I started playing, really, is when I moved here. Just woodshed over the summer when I didn't know anybody, and then got into jazz band in high school and started bands and all that fun stuff.
Did you end up at what point did you decide? Because I know you when I first met you, you'd always wanted to be a musician, and that's kind of where it was. So tell us about all that education you got yourself on the way up.
Yeah. Did the jazz band thing in high school. Then I went to Well, I started this band, Seco, me and a couple buddies who mostly were in jazz band with me. And we were hitting that pretty hard, hitting
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
the state.
That's these folks. That's what happens when you hit the wrong button. Go ahead.
But
It's gonna happen a lot.
eventually that led to guitar teaching through John Fault Line. Did
Yeah.
that for a long time. Now I'm just teaching on my own. Did Cuesta College and started learning jazz, and that was really fun. Played a bunch of jazz bands, and then did Cal Poly, some more jazz. Got the bachelor's, did that whole thing.
Yeah, the old jazz stuff was good for the young dubs. It really,
Yeah,
we do the hands a lot, don't we?
all the bebop licks really comes in handy.
That's right. But so you ended up originally. By the time we reached out to you, you were playing in a great band called Truth About Seafood.
Yeah.
And at that point, they all sort of had day jobs and stuff were doing it, but you were still teaching full time. So
Yeah.
at that point, was it something you really thought you'd end up on the road gigging, or had you sort of moved to the point where you thought you were going to be a professional teacher, and that was kind of, and the gigging would sort of be on the side?
Yeah, I don't know. I just teaching, I guess, was the main thing for a long time.
Yeah.
So trying to come up with educational material and things like that, and expanding that whole deal. As far as hitting the road, I always really thought it'd be cool to do, and I'd done doses of it. I did a national tour with that band Seco. Went to Lithuania one time and did a big tour there. Spent about a month over there with Rudolph Boginis, a classical pianist, and we had a quartet.
Say that name quickly with a couple of points on you.
Rudolph Boginis. That was fun.
Yeah, so you did that. You were on tour with him. Was it just a duo? Was it him on piano, you on guitar? Or?
Yeah, so two of us, but also bass and drums. So the idea was sort of like a rock band with a classical pianist on top. Although we play like some Latin grooves and all sorts of things underneath them.
Were there vocals with that, or was it all instrumental?
All instrumental, yeah.
Wow. And so this was his hometown or his home country that he was, was he already well known there?
Yeah, pretty well known. He did I think he was educated in Vilnius, which is a big city there, maybe the capital of Lithuania.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's sort of the prodigal son returns, or at least that's how it's booked,
Yeah, it's so funny to go from tour, playing locally and regionally and around California, and then your first trip is to Lithuania.
Yeah.
It definitely gave you a sharp entrance into the world of rock and roll and traveling, or going to other places. So then so tell us more about Seafood, because that was, you guys opened for us in San Luis Obispo at the old Downtown Brew. And I remember meeting you guys at the radio station in the morning. It was just me. And I love the fact that everybody just jumped right in on jamming. The DJs just said, you guys want to do a song together? And we did a version of Rocky Road to Dublin. Yeah. I mean, it's funny to think that that's when you first played that song, was just in a sort of a kind of a joke thing. So when we joined up, then tell me a little bit about what that was like with the challenge of the amount of songs you had to learn to start off with us when we were getting ready to go on the road.
Yeah, that was a lot. Gosh, I think we started with some full sets, right? Like 2-hour sets.
Yep.
So what is that? 30-ish tunes.
Yep.
Around there. So I just woodshed here at home, I have a couple cool apps that I use, slow things down. Part of the real challenge is lining up that stuff with Chaz. So I would just drill it over and over again. But I thought it was cool, it's fun to do that.
That's what blew us away. I think it was funny because the boys all came up, Justin and I live up in Central California, coast area, and the Chaz is San Diego, and then Dave is LA, and and Bren was in LA at the time too, and so we ended up. They all came up here, and Justin had a little rehearsal space that we decided to do the audition in, and it was typical us. We're useless at hiding our emotions and our enthusiasm. Like we basically went down and we were jamming. You're playing the songs like you've been playing them your whole life. You know, there's a couple of little things here and there that you weren't sure of, but you played them top to bottom. And when we left the rehearsal, there was actually guys outside the window listening in that had been drinking out a microbrew. They were rocking out, thinking they were just hearing a regular band jam at rehearsing. And I remember you went home, we came back to the house, and everybody's just like, all right, well, that's done. That's it. We got him. And you know, in fairness, you were filling massive shoes, because Bob Bolding, our previous guitar player, brilliant player, very creative player, very unique with pedal use and sound use and all. And you know, you were, when we found you, I think you'd say yourself, you were like, you know, like a 3-pedal guy, I think. When, you know, whereas Bob had a full pedal board. And I think part of the challenge was you working out what Bob did. And luckily Bob was so great with the
sonic stuff.
Yeah. And you and him were able to talk and do videos together and share. He was able to share stuff with you. So it made it was great for us, because you initially recreated everything Bob was doing, so that it allowed us the ease and comfort of feeling that warm blanket of everything hadn't changed. And now you've really made all these parts your own. You know, you've kept a lot of Bob's stuff, you've added a lot of your own stuff. A lot of the solos are up to you now. How does it feel different now gigging? Like, what were those first couple of months like? Was it a nerve-wracking thing to be in front of people who, not only were you in front of big crowds, but you were also in front of people who were sort of had seen Bob up there for 18 years, and now all of a sudden they're looking up like, you know, as most people said, like, who's the kid?
Yeah, there's definite moments of intimidation or something like that, but for the most part, when I get up there on stage, I just kind of get all trancy and shut my eyes and do my thing, really focus in. So I can play into no one at all, and it's
I remember one of the earliest comments I got from one of our fans in I think we were in Sun Valley, Idaho or something, and the guy comes up and he goes, I've never seen anybody headbutting to tell me, man.
Yeah.
Or headbutting, I mean head bopping. I don't think you're actually out there headbutting the audience. That'd be a bit much probably. But I remember but it's you know, it's great because you developed your own style. Like, I think everybody who's seen us play now realizes that you have a stage show that's very unique to us. And I think all 5 of us up there are very different. It couldn't be further away from a choreographed band where we all do moves together. It's like, you know, we're lucky if we're all on stage at the same time when the intro music starts. Now with the virus, obviously we're in our last show is in Boise on March 13th. How are you dealing with the mental part of it? I know I've gone on a very emotional roller coaster where one day I wake up and I'm like, it's the end of the world. We're never going to play again. I've got to get a real job. My mother was right.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a roller coaster. If you watch the news, kind of seems now like there's never going to be another music venue open, but we'll see. I have hopes, you know. I think it's going to come back. So I pretty level and just got in my routine.
I think the really good thing is the fact that, you know, if you're the band and this had happened to you without a virus, it would just mean that you suck and nobody wants to see you anymore.
And I'm already used to that. So.
There's just no more gigs. Whereas at least we hope anyway that most of the gigs we had have rebooked. The one we're all sort of stressing about is our Ireland trip. You got to go on the Ireland trip a couple of years ago. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about those first few months of you and the band, like what we actually did, how we threw you in at the deep end. Yeah. How did that sort of work the first 3 months? How did that play out for you?
That was wild. The Moody Blues Cruise was the first gig, right?
That's right.
Besides the changeover one with Bob in California. So yeah, I was sort of starstruck by a lot of the people on that ship. And it was fun they had that artist lounge bar where we were all hanging out, boozing it up. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That
never happened.
Cut that part out.
Yeah. I wish you could edit this stuff.
No, that was great. And gosh, was it like Alaska right after that, or and Ireland was soon after that, Denmark. Gosh, we went all over the place.
Yeah, you were very busy on that Ireland trip trying to perfect that Irish accent of yours.
Yeah,
which
I'll save the folks from that.
It's so convincing. I mean, people were literally coming up going, "How did you get an Irish guitar player so quick? Like, you guys are living in America. How did that happen?" So I remember the Ireland trip was, and that again was a very sort of a big step for you, because these are, for those of you who don't know, we do these Ireland trips where we take about 100 to 120 usually Americans with us on the Ireland tour, and they're usually people who either know the band really well, or people who've seen the band maybe never met us. So we're all hanging out in these hotels together, and there's a great camaraderie right from the get-go. But I must admit, that was one of the ones I was thinking, how will everybody react? Like, will we all be sitting at the hotel bar having a drink with all the fans, and you'll be over on your own in the corner? Like, nobody talks to me, they don't know me yet. But it wasn't like that at all, and it was a compliment to not only our great fans who are just unbelievably friendly and open, and the fact that you just sort of blended right in right away. I think people were excited to get to know you, which is all part of the idea that when somebody leaves a band that's been in a band for a long time, you're not trying to clone that person. You're not trying to, do you think anybody will notice it's not Bob, or it's not, Bren, or whatever? It's more about finding somebody and allowing them to be themselves, which is exactly what you did, right off the bat. The people got to know you, and it's not that people, you do replace that person physically in the band, but I feel like the band changes. The band becomes another incarnation of itself. I also thought, like, you went through those first few months as, wherever your own inner nerves are about going on stage, but you wouldn't have known what the four of us were going through, which was, right. Oh, how's this going to go? Are we going to be as good as we always were? I mean, I distinctly remember the first gig, like you said, we were out in the middle of the ocean on a cruise ship, and word had gotten out, because we'd done two of them before. Word got out that we had our new guitar player. All this crew on those ships are all friends of ours now. So they were all, everybody wanted us to do well, but so everybody showed up. All the other musicians were backstage. All the crew from the other stages were there. And I remember just looking at you, and plus, like, the whole ship seemed to have gathered to watch us, because we were one of the last shows on outside at the pool. And it really was the deep end. Like, I couldn't have even imagined what you were thinking, getting ready to go up there, because I was shitting a brick just for you, even though, I apparently, and people will question this, but I actually know the songs already. I know I don't always appear to when we're on stage, as I go off on my own tangents. But tell us about the one that you've set up your own website. I'm going to pull it up there on the screen.
Oh, nice!
Look how pro that is. That's your own website. Where, tell me about the lessons you're given. If people from anywhere in the world wanted to take guitar lessons, and let me tell you, he's unbelievable at the guitar lessons. Everybody would tell you. I'm sure hopefully you've got testimonies on your website from students, because he's got all age groups, right? Tell me a little bit about the way you do that.
Yeah, all ages, any skill set, really. Gosh, the online thing, that's how I teach now, at least for the time being. Mainly it was all in person and in my community for a long time. But, I'm getting the Zoom thing down now.
So if anybody wants to get lessons from you, they would go to this website. Is that where they'll find out all the info?
Yeah, if you go there, it essentially has links to me, email and all that. Just hit me up and we'll figure some stuff out. I kind of just work with people's schedule and what they want to learn.
Yeah. So you sort of find out what level they're at first, and then you'll take it from there. Well, there you have, folks. I think the best way for us to end this is to do the reveal. As everybody knows, we've been on lockdown. We're not joking. We've definitely been on lockdown. even though Justin only lives about 12 miles away from me, we realized how dangerous this thing is, and we're each around people that we don't want to give it to, and older people, maybe people with pre-existing stuff, to where it's just been really scary. But we're hoping very soon to get to the next point where at least we'll be able to get together in the studio here and start writing again. We already had a bunch of songs going, and then eventually get the whole band together and do the mother of all live stream shows, where we'll do a full Young Dub gig for everybody. One of the main downsides of this, I'm sure you've experienced it as well, has been haircuts. And we're used to getting our hair cut very regularly. We are performers and we pamper ourselves in that way. And I haven't seen my hairdresser since the beginning of March, or maybe end of February. So what I'd like to do, just to say goodbye to everybody, is do a reveal. Okay. Let's show the folks. Let's show the folks where we're at now and basically what's happened to us.
I haven't even seen this myself. I've had this on for 2 months. Out there. Yeah, what do we got here?
There we are. Oh yeah,
pretty long.
I don't know, man. You've got, that could be something. That's, we'll ask people to write in, but I think
might as well stick with it now.
I think you just got yourself another. I think you just gained a whole bunch of female adoring fans with your new agey look. And
I drove by a haircut place the other day just to check. It's like, are they open yet? Are they essential now? No.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say that to people. What do you mean you're not essential? Look at this. Look at this. This makes you essential. Yep. I can't go out like this. You can't release me like this.
They'd have to be in surgeon's clothes or something.
That's right. Well, brother, stay safe. We'll be in touch, and hopefully in a few weeks we'll get back to writing.
I've got a good picture for our way out.
Oh, yes. So, tell everybody what this is.
Yeah, this is Truth About Seafood. We were making a music video. This is the 80s one, I think, here. Pretty fun. Costumes and all that business.
Let's hope technology works.
On YouTube, too.
Let me pull it up. There it is. Which one is you?
I know. It's almost hard to tell.
I know.
I got the top hat there.
Oh, that's you on the right. See, I would almost have said that was you on the left.
I got some pretty solid gloves going on.
Oh, that's great. Name the rest of the boys.
Yeah, if from me going the other way, we got Brad, Wyatt, and Jeff. Truth About Seafood, folks. Just a straight ahead rock band.
Great bunch of lads. We were all supposed to do the concerts in the Plaza for this season in San Luis Obispo, and that got entirely cancelled until next year. So, hopefully we'll get back on the road soon, folks, and see you out there. Meanwhile, this was the great Justin Peko, lead guitar player, vocalist, mandolin player. Unbeknownst to him, he'll soon be playing banjo and many other instruments. He'll be like strapped up with a whole, I think we may even have like a kick drum on you, maybe tambourine between your knees.
Yeah.
As we, continue to add to your talents, because
I got my tuba here somewhere.
All right, that's enough of that. So anyway, all right, man. Thanks for doing this first one. I hope we didn't screw it up too bad. And see you soon, brother.
Yeah, catch you later.
All the best. So grab a bag and I'll meet you at the station.